Good evening. Welcome to Reading Things with a Southern Accent, 2020 episode 40. That's 40. Think about that. Since sometime in March, I'd have to go back and actually look, we have done 39 other episodes of Reading Things with a Southern accent. 40. The first time I did this, I pre-recorded everything, started out on my laptop, switched over to a Canon DSLR, and then we made it to episode 23, and I never went back. 9 years went by. We have done 40 more episodes. I have no idea if this is even broadcasting at this point because I can't get there. Sometimes the live feed, here we go. We have to turn the volume down. Hi, handsome husband. I love that woman. Mother is here. Craig Salee is here. Dave Russo is here. Hey, Craig Salee, why don't you go find your friend over there in the production department over at the, what is it called? I was going to say Promise Keepers, but that's not it. It's the Samaritan's Purse. That's it. Why don't you go over there, knock on the door and be like, hey, bro, why don't you ever called my friend back? Because I'm ready. I'm ready to go and do some really cool production for your organization. But I get no calls back. Today is May the 7th. It is Thursday, just in case you have no idea what day it is. Sometimes that happens to me during the COVID-19 coronapocalypse, coronavirus, stay-at-home order, social distancing lockdown. Sometimes I don't know what day it is. Today is Thursday, May the 7th, 2020. Tiny observations from the news. People have lost their minds. I posted today on Facebook earlier today, has everyone lost their minds? And no matter what side of the argument you are on, everyone has said yes. Whether you're a crazy liberal or a crazy conservative, everyone has said yes. Those people who are totally into these pandemic conspiracies, and the people who are crazily into the let's go to the farthest extreme of masks and staying at home. Like, no matter where you fall, everyone has agreed that everyone else has lost their minds. So I think there's just a little bit of like gray area that we can be like, so we have no idea what's going on. That lady who put out that pandemic documentary, the Plandemic, she might be a little crazy, and everyone who's posting that is like, hey, this is what's happening. There are other people on the other side of it who are like, you guys are nuts. I don't know what's going on. I can't tell you. I am not an expert. This is one thing that I can decidedly and emphatically adhere to, is that I am not an expert. I am a human being with a college education who knows enough about creative things and video production and how to take a picture to tell you how to do those things and do them well. I can't explain to you what the proper response to a pandemic is. And if you're a business major or someone who is like a massage therapist, or you have a degree in mathematics, don't get on the internet and tell me how I should be responding to the pandemic, because you have no more idea than I do. We are just human beings who are responding to information that's coming out. And there's so much information that, the murder hornets could be carrying the COVID-19. They could be the vehicles in which this entire pandemic is being spread. I have no idea. I can tell you this, if I see a murder hornet, I'm going to run and scream like a small child because they look terrifying, and I never ever want to have to see one face to face. I can tell you that. Take a breath. Oh, the producer is producing from afar. She is not here where she needs to be, where she usually is. She is abandoning me. She is producing from afar. The producer is producing. This is the message that I get. Take a breath. Okay. I'm getting the virtual move it along from the producer. So that is what I will do. Hello, Jen Bartel. Information overload. I don't know if you're telling me that I'm information overload or that I'm on information overload, but I agree, Casey, that there's too much information out there. There's too many people with too many opinions. I'm not an expert. I don't know what the first thing to tell you about a pandemic is. I'm a human being with a college education in a very narrow field. I can tell you how to make a good picture. I can tell you how to do the things that I know how to do. But I don't know how to tell you how to respond to a pandemic, because that's just crazy. Crazy talk, I tell you. Tonight's reading, we are still in Edgar Allan Poe. It is Thursday. We're going to do Friday and Saturday, still in Edgar Allan Poe. Probably going to wrap it up this Saturday because we've done 2 weeks of Edgar Allan Poe. Thank you to my gracious neighbor, Kate Hudnut, for loaning me this book of Edgar Allan Poe. I'm leaning towards doing, some Dr. Seuss. For the next round, I just have to find the source material in order to do it. Stop calling your mom Casey. Sherry. I have called my mom Casey since I was a child because I am the third offspring. And as the third offspring, when you're in the mall and you yell, "Mom," mom doesn't respond because mom has become numb to the name mom. So I have called my mother Casey for a very long time. So you just keep your opinions to yourself, young lady. Good. Ready to move on. Yes, mother. Hello, Tim Reed. I'm glad you made it, Tim. Thanks for showing up. Thank you for your messages prior to this. Whatever you were told prior to the 6 p.m. broadcast was wrong. On Wednesdays, I do go a little bit earlier because I do a thing here in the studio with some guys from the church that has to happen, and I like to sort of have enough time to rearrange the set a little bit. That's just on Wednesdays, though. So when Miles and Connor showed up here yesterday, they were mildly late for the broadcast, but if they had shown up today, they'd be totally on time, and they'd be sitting over here in the producer's seat, and they'd be having fun. I have no idea where those dudes are today. Sorry, here we go. Nope, she was just ignoring you. Bad, bad, bad. My mother ignores me all the time, Sherry. This is what happens when you are the third child. It also happens when you are the third child who was an accident. There you go. The Pit and the Pendulum is our subject material for this evening. The Pit and the Pendulum from Edgar Allan Poe. The Pit and the Pendulum is a short story first published in 1842 in the literary annual The Gift, a Christmas and New Year's present for 1843. The story is about the torments endured by a prisoner of the Spanish Inquisition, though Poe skews historical facts. The narrator of the story describes his experience of being tortured. The story is especially effective at inspiring fear in the reader because of its heavy focus on the senses, such as sound, emphasizing its reality, unlike many of Poe's stories, which are aided by the supernatural. The traditional elements established in popular horror tales at the time are followed, but critical reception has been mixed. The tale has been adapted into several films. So that is a brief synopsis, just a little backstory on The Pit and the Pendulum. And again, these stories are too long to read the entire thing. This is a 10-page, in this book, 10-page story. I am picking a selection from The Pit and the Pendulum. I love reading this. My daughter calls me by my first name because she says I don't hear when she calls Dad. David, I can relate to this. Your daughter and myself share a similar history. Okay. The vibration of the pendulum was at right angles to my length. I saw that the crescent was designed to cross the region of the heart. It would fray the surge of my robe. It would return and repeat its operation again and again. Notwithstanding its terrifically wide sweep, some 30 feet or more, and the hissing vigor of its descent. Y'all know what a pendulum is, right? A pendulum is this thing that swings back and forth, and it's supposed to convey some sort of normalcy of time. Pendulum swings right and left. Okay. Sufficient to sunder these very walls of iron. Still, the fraying of my robe would be all that for several minutes it would accomplish. And at this thought, I paused. I dared not go farther than this reflection. I dwelt upon it with a pertinacity of attention, as if in so dwelling I could arrest here the descent of steel. I forced myself to ponder upon the sound of the crescent as it should pass across the garment, upon the peculiar thrilling sensation which the friction of cloth produces on the nerves. I pondered upon all this frivolity until my teeth were on edge. Down steadily, down it crept. I took a frenzied pleasure in contrasting its downward with its lateral velocity. To the right, to the left, far and wide, with the shriek of a damned spirit, to my heart with the stealthy pace of a tiger. Not to be confused with that Netflix show about Carol Baskin. I alternately laughed and howled as the one or the other idea grew predominant. Down, certainly, relentlessly down. It vibrated within 3 inches of my bosom. I struggled violently, furiously, to free my left arm. This was free only from the elbow to the hand. I could reach the latter from the platter beside me to my mouth with great effort, but no further. Could I have broken the fastenings above the elbow? I would have seized and attempted to arrest the pendulum. I might as well have attempted to arrest an avalanche, which happened right outside my house not too long ago. An avalanche did. Down still unceasingly, still inevitably down, I gasped and I struggled. At each vibration, I shrunk convulsively at its very sweep. My eyes followed its outward or upward whirls with the eagerness of the most unmeaning despair. They closed themselves spasmodically at the descent, although death would have been a relief. Oh, how unspeakable. Still, I quivered in every nerve to think how slight a sinking of the machinery would precipitate that keen, glistening axe upon my bosom. It was hope that prompted the nerve to quiver, the frame to shrink. It was hope, the hope that triumphs on the track, that whispers to death condemned, even in the dungeon of the Inquisition. And that is all I will read to you tonight from The Pit and the Pendulum from Mr. Edgar Allan Poe, originally published in 1842. Mr. Edgar Allan Poe, who was born in 1809, died in 1849, had a very rough life. His father left, his mother died, his child, cousin, bride died. It explains a lot of how Mr. Edgar Allan Poe saw things in life, in the world, and such. I'm looking for a lens cap that I thought I had, but I cannot find, which is very interesting. Oh well. Let's see. Just to wrap things up here. Kevin Kendrick, I hope you are fine. Jim Camp, my mother-in-law is here. I only come to heckle you, which I understand. Sherry Bennett Dusick. I feel like if there was any other type of relationship here between myself and someone with the last name Dusick, an antagonistic one is the only way that it would happen, because your husband is an antagonizer. So I feel like after so many years of marriage, because you've been married for like 30 years, you are probably an antagonizer yourself. I can't say that, Tim Reed. This is a family show. I want to say thank you to everyone who has tuned in this fine evening. It is 20 minutes after 6. It's probably time that I should shut this down. I really thought I had. Oh, there it is. See? I knew I was looking for a lens cap. Craig Salee, I hope you're still here. My wife, I hope you're still here. Katie Ewing, I hope you're still here. Katie, down there in Denver. Past, also former Vail Resorts employee. Big ups to the former Vail Resorts employees. It's been quite an uneventful day here. I haven't left the residence here since Monday. It is Thursday. It's been days. I haven't gone anywhere. I am out of bread. I do have plenty of meat. I have meat and chicken and some sausage, and I have lots of eggs, but I am out of bread. So I'm contemplating whether or not I should go to the grocery store to buy some bread, or just forget it and not worry about it. Well, thanks for joining me. It is Thursday. Tomorrow night is Friday. I will read some more Edgar Allan Poe. I think Saturday we will finally hit Annabelle Lee, which is going to be our big finale here with Edgar Allan Poe. And then we'll figure out what to do next. Hopefully I can find some Dr. Seuss. If not, I do have some Mark Twain as a backup. Mark Twain would be fine, I think, in reading things with a southern accent. I can come to your house, Tim, and get some bread. We'll see. Or send your children over. Some bread. I don't know. My name is Murph. This has been Reading Things with a Southern Accent 2020 episode 40. I believe we're at 40. I know I said it at the beginning of the show, but I can't remember now. Thank you for watching. And as always, please wash your hands. Good night.